Lord, we come to you today with heavy hearts, grieving the loss of our brother, a leader and a comrade. He has left this earth to join you and the angels in heaven. Guard his soul against evil and allow him to join you for eternity. Almighty Lord and most merciful Father, we commend our brother and leader's soul into your hands. We family Joala, especially our aunt Rahat, the family Joala, especially our uncles and the sisters that are here and other siblings. To the leadership of Randwater, led by my brother, the chairperson, Comrade Nyongolo, and other board members, especially Zagaza and your team, the group chief executive, Comrade Sipo, and the entire leadership. The ANC leadership in Gauteng, and especially our greater region of Tshwane that are connected virtually. Our father and leader, the president, Ubaba Oliphant, Dr. Oliphant, and all our fellow monarchs that are here. It's not an easy period to be here. On behalf of His Excellency, our Father and President, Cyril Ramaphosa, His Excellency, our Minister of Water and Sanitation, Comrade Selvom Tunu Umaklingwane, and DM Shabala and the entire water sector. We're very waiting today. We're here to convey our sincere condolences during this difficult period. It's not an easy period. And we're very grateful that His Excellency, when we reported to him this morning, as we are aware that our country is wrapping up the work of the sixth administration before the next elections. And next week, His Excellency will speak to the country about the priorities. We indicated that our country, our movement, the ANC and the Alliance, the family of Randwater, the water family, and more importantly, the biological family, Comrade Joala. They are convening today here to pay respect and celebrate his life that is well lived. I thought when Comrade Sipo, the CE, send us the link that we should be able to try just to sneak out of cabinet, just for a few minutes to say some few words in joining. But His Excellency, our President, said, no, you go there and be with them and the family and all those close in our water sector. Hence, we have joined you today. As the leadership in the water sector, we're still very, very shocked. And we're really with shock. Because the fatal day when Comrade Teboho was taken away from us and were robbed, it was the most important day because Randwater, through its own work of contributing back to our people, that made a decision that not only are they providing water to our communities, but they must plow back. They're to plow back to help those that are in need, those that are very vulnerable, those that are downtrodden, and nobody must help them. And these criminals and these daring criminals, they chose that particular day. Amongst all the days, and including this time and the space, because they are daring, they send a message, they don't fear us. They don't care about us as people, but as a nation and a country. We don't even know how God, because those of us who are believers, in as much as it is difficult, we know that we are here as mere mortals. One day, too, we shall join Comrade Teboho. we trying to comprehend and don't even have answers, because some of the top leadership of Randwater should have joined Comrade Teboho on the day. Comrade Sipho was supposed to be there, and the other executive, the chairperson, was supposed to be there. Ourselves as a ministry were going to join it, because it was a good indeed, just to help those young minds for the future, just so that they too, when they go to school, they can have dignity. But it coincided with the work of our organization, the ANC, when we had our extended NEC Lekgotla over the weekend. But at the very same time, other activities had to be done, because we're to meet Swan, that has been very erratic around the question of provision of water. Hence, the leadership had to come and join us, especially the chair and the CE. And in other words, Comrade Teboho became our Jesus. He was a sacrificial lamb, because we don't know who else will have passed on. That's how we are actually viewing this issue. You could see that Comrade Sipho, the way he's emotional around the times, the good and the bad times they've shared together. We also have our own experiences. Our words of condolences, they will never be sufficient to be able to say how sorry we are, and our condolences to the family. We don't have the strength and the courage. But because all of us, we are believers, and we also then take solace during this difficult period, those of us who believe that even in the book of Matthew, Jesus, when these times they come, will have to be able to look and cast our eyes into the mountains and say, where would our help come from? Matthew chapter 5, verse 4, during this time becomes relevant when it says, I quote, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." And we want to thank those who are pastors and the religious leaders that have supported the entire family, especially the sister, the wife to Comrade Teboho, the children, and the other siblings and the elders. Even also praying for all of us so that we can be able to come to terms during this particular period. We know that God himself will comfort us in our grief and any troubling circumstances. We are asking ourselves many questions. We are being troubled. Our souls are very restless. But we can take comfort when you look at the book of Psalms 46, verse 1, where it points out the following: God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. Because you come here in Randwater, it looks like a battlefield. Security has been upped. We don't know who's the enemy. We don't know the movement of the enemy. Whether do we have the strength to come back to work so that we too can continue with the legacy of the love of our people, because revolution and being a cadre is a simple thing. It's about the love of the people. Revolution give out. It's about people. We can speak theories as long as you don't love people that you can be able to serve. We still need the sector even during this difficult time, especially this institution that is more than 100 years old. Also, Psalm 34 and 18, verse 18, encourages us that the Lord is close to those heartbroken and save those who are crushed in spirit. Please take these words. At this point, you can have doubts about the existence of the Lord. To say, why he? Because our understanding and comprehension is about mere mortals. we need to go to the next level of consciousness and understand that we're here and we're passing by. And we must be able to make our contribution. Our own experience of Comrade Teboho, some of us, we know him in the ranks of our movement. We're more or less of the same age group. We're all on the 5th floor now, approaching the 6th floor, then the 7th floor, very shortly. And we must thank the family, Rahat, that you allowed your son to serve our nation. He grew up under difficult circumstances where he understood the brutality of apartheid. And Comrade Teboho was brave enough and encouraged us. He was able to confront the system head on. You know, when you look at the bull through its eyes and hold it by its horns. At the time, those of us who were leading the student movement and where he participated in TNT, in Tshwane, it was not an easy period. At the heart and the capital of apartheid, they waged the struggles. And when the struggle of our country is written, it will be incomplete about the contribution of young people like Comrade Teboho. When he actually concluded his own studies, then we got our freedom, and we have lost many, many people. Some even today, Dr. Oliphant, we can't even account where their mortal remains are. Some they paid the biggest premium, which was death. Apartheid tortures us. It traumatizes us. But we remain resilient as people. Then we're very having a fortitude to say we want to make a difference. He too, wayekhona emzabalazweni. Kunabanye okhomtsotsi namuhla that we must ask to say, where were they? Umabunzi. And some of them you can't trace them. Some of them they've become a 10 coats. And you have worked for our country in many sectors, including in the SOE ESCOM, we know that. And when ESCOM was still working, before it actually got captured. Then they provided, not only in the water sector, there are many other sectors where Comrade Teboho made a contribution so that the lives of our people can change for the better. Because even us as Black people, Liruna Ribat, we're not a skunk in our own country, and we can't be a skunk in our own world, and we can't be a pariah in our own land. That's the contribution of his generation and generation before that is made to our country. We're very blessed that in one of the most fundamental things, which is about life, Comrade Teboho was there to bring dignity to our people. Nobody can live without water. Many South Africans, especially young girls and women, they are being made to travel long distances so they can fetch water, which is class exploitation, which is about patriarchy, the exploitation of women on the basis that they are born different. And many of these women and girl children, now they too, under the sun, they can enjoy benefits so that their own development and participation, whether in sports, whether in culture, whether in the economic opportunities, Comrade Teboho was there with this collective of the water set to make a difference. We worked very closely recently when the people of the Val said it in, when they were being treated like subhuman over 20 years and more. People in the valley, they to grow sewer in their own homes, in their own backyards. A child will be born, go to a preschool, go to a primary school, a high school, and a university. They don't know anything except the stench of sewer because of the failure by those who were there before. Sewer was getting into their homes. We went in there with the leadership of Rainwater and the communities and the leadership of our movement, the ANC, to turn around the situation. And it's not been easy when the institution Rainwater was being rejected. Comrade Teboho and other comrades, they were at the forefront. When we were to deal with the issues of human rights and dignity to our people against those who claim that they are business people, who demanded that we must give them all the money at the expense of removing sewer from people's homes, at the expense of stopping the pollution that was happening into the Val River as we speak. Comrade Teboho today, as we are about to lay his mortal remains this weekend, we are proud of the work he has done. A number of their sections, either in Sebokeng, in Everton, Rainwater is hard at work. Sewer is being removed. We might not have completed the task, but a difference is being made. But the conditions some of our people have exposed the workers who love our country is unacceptable. We spend a lot of money around issues of security. People presently, we are filling a pump station more than 10, 15 meters down. You go in there and you steal. You go presently, you stop projects, you threaten people's lives. That's the conditions we live in. When we speak about these issues, it can take time and time again. Recently, those of us who are resident in Tshwane, the DA has messed up that municipality for more than 8 years. More than 8 years. Comrade Teboho is a leader in Tshwane and an activist, and all of those of us who participated in struggle in Tshwane. Right now, you go to Mamelodi, you go to Soshanguve, you go to Winterfell. I don't want even to speak about the people of Hammanskraal, because we must bury our heads in the sand with shame that more than 40 people had to lose their lives on matters where a country advances South Africa. We know that only medication to deal with waterborne diseases is just to provide water and ensure that people are clean. There's issues of hygiene. Recently, we met with all the councillors of our movement and the leadership of Rainwater. You sent him there, and we agreed on a plan. Comrade Teboho's work, the day was passing on, we're making Tshwane to account. Making Tshwane to account that of all their wastewater systems, more than 80% of it is not working. Sewer runs into people's homes and into our rivers. We're also accounting that the water is being lost in the entire system, and it does not arrive at people, and the rights of human beings are being violated. When that truth was given to the leadership of Tshwane because of the work that Comrade Teboho and others have done, there was no denial that Tshwane is in crisis and an intervention is required. On his memory, Comrade C, we can't relent. We must soldier on, so that at least we know that those people of Tshwane too, under the name of Comrade Teboho Joala, their dignity is restored. And we are very grateful that his wife and the children were very understanding. You know, we would call Comrade Teboho to meet in awkward times and ask him as a leader. Because those of us who are leading, we must also appreciate we don't have the monopoly of wisdom. Our strength as a nation, it lies on the collective wisdom of all our people. And if you dare to listen, whether they are read or not well read, whether they are poor or rich, they too have their own lived experiences. Comrade Teboho knew that the ground must be actually be worked on, must listen to the experiences of our people. He would spend more time with Comrade Sipho. On his way back, would say, no, pass here in Waterkloof. He will do so because we're very worried that our advances of a better life for all, they are being regressed and they are actually being undermined by various forces. And we're to give this additional responsibility from time to time. At times, you will have no time to fetch the kids from school like other parents would do. You know, when you have a child, especially those of us in the service of community, sometimes children, they take pride to be fetched by a father or a mother. When they don't see the father coming, your kids will start to say they think that I don't have a father. Even if you can spend 1 minute of your time, is one of those memories that will live on for many years to come. His children have been dropped. They've been denied an opportunity to grow under a loving father until they too, one day, they can become senior citizens and take the rightful place in our country, South Africa. I don't want to speak about our sister, the wife, who has sacrificed more than every person, who will understand that Comrade Teboho had made a choice to serve these people. The first love he had was the people of our country. But the foundation and the support from the family was the one that was able to demonstrate that Teboho is coming from the right family. There are many people today who work for our country. They don't have families. They want to be leaders. Some of them, they are leading in our structures. Some, they are public servants. Some, they are in many organizations. They want to lead people, but they don't have the virtue of love, respect, self-sacrifice, and humility. Because those are the values and those are the things that must define your DNA. Comrade Teboho was well gifted, a genius, but he had an empathy to listen. There's a difference from listening and hearing. Then when you afford him an opportunity, you can see the brilliance of a black child, well raised by your family, contributing to change our lot. And you could see we demanded more and more from him. He always would make a plan, like the Bure Master plan. He would always find a way, even how difficult. And we are very pleased that in as much as he might have passed on, Comrade Teboho has never been associated with corruption. He has never been investigated for corruption, that he has stolen the thing that belonged to our people. He might have worked in a strategic position, but he was upright. He had integrity and yet morality. And things had to follow the law, even if you want any support in the institution. But more importantly, Comrade Teboho hated mediocrity. He had frowned on mediocrity. One of our problems, Comrade President, were cushioning mediocrity. There are these people who are stealing. They work in the service of our people. But rather than earning their lot on the basis of their own contribution, they don't work. Ufika ekuseni, ufika late. Mayefika uyaronta, he wants to take tea time. Aspane just ahlale phambi computer for the next hour or so. Then the next thing, they take a longer lunch. Even if it's 8 to 4, around 3:45, they are on their way out. The testament by Comrade Msai says he will go an extra mile. That's the leaf we can take out of his book. That's the leaf. I don't want to speak more because the leadership of the ANC in Tshwane too must also have time to mourn the passing of our brother and celebrate his life. Your message, Comrade CE, is very clear. our security services can't sleep. We must work with the law enforcement agencies. Our intelligence operations, these people, they must be brought to book. And I hope those who are around, when they recover and find strength, they should be in a position to give us the information. We can't rest until these people are brought to book. Not only in the name of Comrade Teboho, but his colleagues and his family. We cannot be in a position to forget. We can forgive, but we can't forget. Therefore, your message will be communicated to the leadership of our country. Our water sector, Comrade President, is in trouble. The criminals, for the first time, they think that we're having a bank. They want to rob the bank and do a heist. eThekwini municipality, the metro, in the water sector, many people are scared to go to work. They've killed innocent people whose job is only one, is to restore your dignity, ensure that your right, which is an inalienable right in the Constitution, you get what? Which is equivalent to life, and the benefits of what? They've been taken out. Now we have a situation in many of our projects, we get to be threatened. Some people who claim to be business people when they are criminals, they are demanding a protection fee without working. In certain instances, projects are being stopped. Contractors are being asked to pay R1 million or more. They don't even know how much is going to be your net profit. Now our projects that we must complete, they're incomplete. But ultimately, the right of our citizens to get water under the sun has been taken away. These officials in Redwood, they are being threatened. And we support the decision the chair of the board you have taken with your collective, strengthen the issues of security. But the issue around the water sector and the infrastructure sector, we cannot continue to be threatened by criminals. We defeated apartheid, well armed to the teeth. They even had nuclear weapons without being armed. In terms of our own resilience and courage, we defeated the mighty apartheid by ourselves, like we're also defeating the mighty apartheid that is denying the people of Palestine the right to self-determination. Therefore, that decision, Comrade Sipho, want to say thank you. My last word will be from Proverbs on chapter 16, verse 9. As we say goodbye to our brother, our leader, our uncle, the husband and the father, to many. We plan the way we want to live, but only God makes us to live. I want to repeat this. When you look at the life of Comrade Teboho as a family, he has been blessed to live until he's 50. It would have been nice that I had to have been a 17 hour IPS would have been blessed. But the time that God has borrowed us, Teboho, we need to go to the book of Proverbs and say that only God planned the way we want to live, but only God make us to be able to live. Our brother has ran the race. He has fought a very good fight. Even how painful it is, we must now allow him to rest with an understanding that he is safe where he is. He feels no pain. He's in the arms of the Lord. He will be able to be part of the angels that one day, when this night falls and the sun rises again, one day he will be able to welcome us. Thank you very much.